The coffee maker sputtered its last drops into the pot at 6:47 a.m., same as every morning. I stood in our kitchen, staring at the family calendar on the refrigerator, the one covered in Megan's volleyball practice times and Ryan's chess club meetings. There, circled in red, was next Saturday the 18th with Trish's handwriting. Extra night shift, ICU coverage needed. 14 months. That's how long those red circles had appeared on our calendar, always on the third Saturday. 14 months of Trish kissing us goodbye in her scrubs, her hospital badge clipped to her pocket telling us not to wait up. 14 months of her coming home exhausted at 7 a.m., heading straight to the shower to wash the hospital off, as she always said. I'm Daniel Brooks, 41 years old, and I've been an insurance adjuster for the past 15 years. It's not glamorous work, but it taught me to pay attention to details, to spot patterns, to know when something doesn't add up. Maybe that's why I finally noticed what I should have seen months ago. Dad, is Mom home yet? Ryan shuffled into the kitchen, his hair sticking up at impossible angles. My 12-year-old son had his mother's eyes, that warm brown that could convince you of anything. Not yet, buddy. You know she doesn't get off her night shift until 7. He nodded, pouring himself orange juice. She's amazing, isn't she? Working all night saving people. Yeah, I said, the word catching in my throat. Amazing. Megan appeared next, already dressed for school, her 15-year-old attitude preceding her into the room. Can you drive me today? I have that big presentation in first period and I don't want to be sweaty from the bus. Sure, sweetheart. The garage door rumbled open at 7:08 a.m. Trish's Honda Civic pulled in, and I watched through the window as she sat in the car for a moment, checking her phone. When she finally came in, she looked exactly as she always did after a night shift. Tired, her scrubs slightly wrinkled, her ponytail loosened. Hey, family, she called out, setting her purse on the counter. Rough night. 2 codes. 1 didn't make it. Oh, Mom. Megan went over and hugged her. That must be so hard. Trish held our daughter tight. It's part of the job, sweetie. I'm gonna shower and try to get some sleep. You kids have a good day at school. She kissed Ryan's head as she passed, then gave me a quick peck on the cheek. She smelled like lavender body spray, not the antiseptic hospital smell I remembered from when she actually worked nights years ago, back when the kids were little. I didn't think much of it then. Maybe they'd changed cleaning products. Maybe she kept body spray in her locker. You don't question these things when you trust someone completely. The unraveling started 2 weeks later, on a Tuesday afternoon in my home office. Tax season was approaching, and I'd decided to get an early start on organizing our documents. Trish usually handled our finances. She was always better with numbers, but I figured I'd surprise her by getting everything ready for our accountant. I had all our pay stubs spread across my desk, sorting them by month. Trish's were consistent. Her base salary as an ICU nurse, same amount every 2 weeks. I was about to file them away when something nagged at me. I pulled up our bank statements on my laptop, cross-referencing deposits with pay stubs. The deposits matched perfectly. Every 2 weeks, the same amount. The same amount. My chest tightened as I went back through 14 months of pay stubs. No overtime. No night differential. No extra shifts. According to these documents, Patricia Brooks worked her standard 3 12-hour day shifts per week, Tuesday through Thursday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Nothing more. I must be missing something. Maybe the overtime was paid separately. Maybe it went into her personal account. But we didn't have separate accounts. We'd combined everything when we got married 17 years ago. Complete financial transparency we'd promised each other. I called the hospital's HR department, my hands shaking as I dialed. Sacramento General, Human Resources. This is Maria speaking. Hi, Maria. This is Daniel Brooks. My wife, Patricia Brooks, works in the ICU. I'm working on our mortgage refinance application, and I need to verify her employment details. Of course, Mr. Brooks. Let me pull up her file. I heard typing. Patricia Brooks, ICU nurse, day shift. She's been with us for 11 years. And her schedule is Tuesday through Thursday, 7 to 7. That's correct. What about her night shifts? She picks up extra nights sometimes. There was a pause. I'm showing day shift only, Mr. Brooks. Has been for… Let me see. She hasn't worked nights in over 2 years. ICU doesn't typically use float pool or agency nurses for night coverage anyway. We have a dedicated night team. I see. Thank you. Is there anything else you need for your refinance? No, that's everything. Thank you. I hung up and stared at the pay stubs scattered across my desk. 2 years. She hadn't worked a night shift in 2 years. But just last month, on the third Saturday, she'd left at 10 p.m. in her scrubs, coming home the next morning exhausted from another brutal night, keeping critical patients stable. My mind raced through possibilities. Maybe she was volunteering? But why lie about it? Maybe she was helping at another hospital. But why wouldn't she tell me? Maybe… Number I couldn't think about. Maybe. I needed facts. Tony Ramirez and I had been gym buddies for 3 years. We spotted each other on bench press every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5:30 a.m. He worked security at Sacramento General. Not a rent-a-cop, but actual hospital security, the kind with access to all the systems. We'd never been close friends outside the gym, but there's a bond between guys who trust each other with heavy weight over their necks. That Friday morning, I waited until we were done with our workout, sitting on the locker room bench. Tony, I need a favor. It's about Trish. His expression shifted from casual to concerned. Everything okay? I don't know. Can you check something for me? Can you see when she badges in and out of the hospital? Dan, I shouldn't. Please, I just need to know about her night shifts. The third Saturday of the month. Can you just check last month? He studied my face for a long moment. This is serious? I don't know yet. The next Monday, Tony was already at the gym when I arrived, sitting on the bench we usually used, not warming up. He stood when he saw me. We need to talk outside. In the parking lot, under the harsh LED lights, he handed me a folded piece of paper. I checked the last 6 months of third Saturdays, he said quietly. Same pattern every time. She badges in at 10:15 p.m., badges out at 10:45 p.m. 30 minutes. That's it. Never comes back that night. I unfolded the paper. There it was in black and white. Timestamps from the hospital security system. 10:15 p.m. entry, 10:45 p.m. exit. Month after month. Dan, I'm sorry. Thanks, Tony. If you need anything else, I know. Thanks. I sat in my car for 20 minutes, staring at that piece of paper. 30 minutes. Just enough time to be seen, maybe change clothes, establish an alibi. But where did she go for the rest of the night? The third Saturday was coming up in 5 days. This time, I'd find out. That week crawled by in a haze of forced normalcy. I went to work, reviewed claims, attended meetings, came home, had dinner with my family, helped Ryan with his homework, drove Megan to volleyball practice. Trish and I moved around each other like actors who'd rehearsed their scenes too many times. She'd mention the upcoming Saturday night shift. I'd nod and say I'd make sure the kids got to bed on time. They're really short-staffed, she said. Thursday night, as we loaded the dishwasher together. ICU is brutal right now with this flu season. I hate leaving you guys, but the overtime helps and they really need experienced nurses. You're doing important work, I said, drying a plate. We're proud of you. She smiled and kissed my cheek. You're the best. I'm lucky to have such an understanding husband. Saturday arrived gray and drizzly, matching my mood. I'd bought a GPS tracker online, the kind private investigators use, magnetic, battery-powered, connects to a phone app. While Trish was in the shower that morning, I attached it to the underside of her car. Mom, can you help me with my biology project tomorrow? Megan asked at dinner. It's about the cardiovascular system. Of course, sweetie. Tomorrow afternoon after I've had some sleep. Working with actual hearts all night will give me good examples for you. Cool. Maybe you'll see something really gross I can tell the class about. Trish laughed. I'll try to remember the gross stuff just for you. At 9:45 p.m., she emerged from our bedroom in her purple scrubs, her hair pulled back in a ponytail, her hospital badge clipped to her pocket. Don't wait up, she said, kissing each of the kids. I'll probably grab breakfast on the way home, so don't worry about making anything. Be careful, Mom, Ryan said. Save lots of lives. I'll do my best, buddy. She kissed me last, a quick peck on the lips. Love you. Love you too. I watched from the window as her taillights disappeared down our street, then opened the tracker app on my phone. A blue dot showed her car moving through our neighborhood, turning onto the main road, heading toward the hospital. At 10:14 p.m., the dot entered the hospital parking garage. I sat in my home office, staring at my phone screen. At 10:47 p.m., the dot started moving again. Not toward home. North, toward Roseville. My heart pounded as I watched her travel 22 minutes up Highway 80. The dot stopped at an extended stay hotel just off the exit. It remained there, unmoving. I stared at that stationary blue dot until my eyes burned. 11:30 p.m. midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. My wife, who was supposedly saving lives in the ICU, was spending the night at an extended stay hotel in Roseville. At 6:31 a.m., the dot finally moved. She stopped at a McDonald's drive-thru, then headed home. I closed the app and went to the kitchen, starting the coffee maker, acting like I'd just woken up. She came in at 7:09 a.m., looking tired but not exhausted. The same lavender body spray smell, the same wrinkled scrubs, the same story about a rough night, a patient who'd coded twice but pulled through. I'm going to crash, she said, heading upstairs. Wake me if there's an emergency. I sat at the kitchen table, my coffee growing cold, planning what I'd do next month. The next 3 weeks were an exercise in emotional torture. Every day, I went through the motions of being a husband and father while carrying this poisonous knowledge. I'd watch Trish at dinner, laughing at Ryan's jokes, helping Megan with homework, discussing weekend plans, and I'd think about that blue dot sitting at the extended stay hotel. I researched everything. The hotel's monthly rates, their policies on long-term stays, even their room layouts. I drove by once during lunch, just to see it in person. A bland beige building with exterior corridors, the kind of place traveling business people stayed for weeks at a time. Anonymous, forgettable, perfect for secrets. I thought about confronting her a dozen times. I'd rehearse the conversation in my head while sitting in traffic. But I always came back to the same conclusion. I needed more than just a GPS dot on a screen. I needed something undeniable, something she couldn't explain away or flip back on me. I needed witnesses. The plan formed slowly, piece by piece. It had to be bulletproof. No room for excuses, no way to twist the narrative. And it had to be devastating, not just to her, but to the comfortable lie she'd built. I started laying groundwork 2 weeks before the next third Saturday. Casual mentions of how proud I was of her dedication. Comments to the kids about their mom's heroic night shifts. I even posted on Facebook about my healthcare hero wife, picking up extra shifts to help during the nursing shortage. Friends and family liked and commented, praising her dedication. "You're embarrassing me," Trish said when she saw the post, but she was smiling. "It's just my job." "You deserve recognition," I said. Not many spouses would sacrifice their Saturday nights to help others. The Wednesday before the third Saturday, I stopped by a local print shop and had a banner made. "Thank you to my hero wife for your sacrifice." I bought a large coffee carrier from her favorite coffee shop, the expensive one she only went to on special occasions. I put together a care package, her favorite sandwiches from the deli she loved, fresh fruit, her preferred energy drinks, those expensive protein bars she always said were too pricey. "Dad, what's all this?" Megan asked when she saw me assembling everything Friday night. "We're going to surprise Mom at work tomorrow night. Show her how much we appreciate her hard work." "Really? That's so sweet. Can we make cards?" "That's a great idea." Megan and Ryan spent an hour making cards. Ryan drew a picture of his mom as a superhero in scrubs, cape flying behind her as she ran toward a hospital. "Super Nurse Mom," he wrote in careful letters. Megan's was more sophisticated, with a heartfelt message about how proud she was to have a mother who sacrificed her comfort to save lives. Reading those cards nearly broke me, but I kept going. Saturday arrived clear and cold. Trish mentioned her shift at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, each time with that practiced casualness of someone reinforcing an alibi. "I might be really late tonight," she said as she got ready. "They mentioned possibly needing me to stay over if the night shift is too short. Could be there until noon tomorrow." A new lie. She was expanding her story, giving herself more time. I wondered if she was getting careless or just more confident. "We'll miss you," I said, "but we understand." She left at 10 p.m., with the usual kisses and promises to be careful. I watched the tracker app, hospital parking garage at 10:14 p.m., just like clockwork. At 10:30 p.m., I turned to the kids. "Let's go surprise Mom. Now?" Ryan was already in his pajamas. "It's perfect timing. She'll be settling into her shift, probably needs coffee. Come on, it'll be fun." We loaded everything into my car, the banner, the coffee carrier, the care package, the cards. The kids were excited, chattering about how surprised their mom would be. The 15-minute drive to the hospital felt like hours. Sacramento General's main entrance was quiet at 10:45 p.m. The kids helped me carry everything through the automatic doors into the brightly lit lobby. The security desk was staffed by an older black woman whose name tag read Dolores. "Good evening," I said with my biggest smile. "We're here to surprise my wife. She's working the night shift in ICU. Patricia Brooks?" Dolores smiled at the banner and coffee. "Oh, how sweet. Let me check." She typed on her computer, then frowned. "I'm not showing a Patricia Brooks on tonight. Are you sure she's in ICU?" "Absolutely. She left home an hour ago in her scrubs. Said they were desperate for coverage." The kids were starting to look confused. Dolores typed more, then picked up her phone. "Let me call up to ICU." She dialed, waited. "Hi, this is Dolores at the main desk. I have a family here looking for Patricia Brooks." No?" You're sure? Okay, thanks. She hung up, looking uncomfortable. Sir, ICU says Patricia Brooks isn't scheduled tonight. She only works day shifts, Tuesday through Thursday. That can't be right, I said, letting worry creep into my voice. She specifically said she was working tonight. She left in her scrubs. Kids, show Dolores the cards you made for Mom. Ryan held up his superhero drawing. She's saving lives tonight. Dolores's expression shifted from confusion to concern. Let me call my supervisor. Within 5 minutes, we had 2 security guards and a supervisor named Marcus, not Torres, thankfully, that would come later, checking computers and making calls. The kids sat in lobby chairs, the excitement draining from their faces, replaced by worry. Dad, where's Mom? Megan asked quietly. I don't know, sweetheart, but we'll find her. Marcus pulled me aside. Mr. Brooks, we checked our entry logs. Your wife did badge in at 10:15, but she left at 10:45. She's not in the building. Left? But she said she was working until 7 a.m. Where would she go? I don't know, sir, but if you're concerned about her whereabouts, you might want to contact the police. The word police made both kids look up sharply. Yes, I said slowly, as if the idea was just occurring to me. Yes, I think I should. This isn't like her at all. I called 911 from the lobby, my voice shaking with what they probably thought was worry but was actually rage. My wife is missing. She left for her night shift at the hospital, but the hospital says she left after 30 minutes. She's not answering her phone. This is completely out of character. The kids were crying now. Real tears. Real fear. They didn't understand what was happening, only that their mother was missing. The banner saying, "Thank you to my hero wife," lay forgotten on a chair, the coffee growing cold. 2 officers arrived within 15 minutes. Officer Anderson, a young woman with kind eyes, took the lead while her partner, Officer Williams, talked to security. When did you last see your wife, Mr. Brooks? She left home at 10 p.m. for her night shift. She's an ICU nurse, works extra nights when they need coverage. But the hospital says she's not here, that she left at 10:45. Has she ever done anything like this before? Never. She always goes where she says she's going. We've been married 17 years. This is completely out of character. Officer Williams returned from talking to security. The security footage shows her entering at 10:15 and leaving at 10:45. She changed out of her scrubs and was carrying an overnight bag. An overnight bag? I let shock fill my voice. Why would she have an overnight bag? Officer Anderson and Williams exchanged glances. Mr. Brooks, we can ping her phone to get a location. Given the circumstances, the deception about work, the overnight bag, we have cause for concern. Please, the kids are terrified. It took them 20 minutes to get the phone location. Officer Anderson showed me her tablet, a map with a pin at an extended stay hotel in Roseville. That's 20 miles away, I said. Why would she be at a hotel? We should go check on her, Officer Anderson said carefully. Make sure she's okay. Would you like to follow us? Absolutely. I turned to the kids. I need you two to wait here with security. I'm going with the police to find Mom. Is she okay? Ryan was crying openly now. We're going to find out, buddy. Be brave for me, okay? The drive to Roseville was surreal. I followed the police car, knowing exactly where we were going, having stared at that blue dot on my tracker app just weeks before. But now it was real. Now there would be witnesses. Now there would be no denying it. The extended stay hotel looked even bleaker at night. The police parked in front, and I pulled in beside them. Officer Anderson checked with the night clerk while Williams waited with me. Room 247, Anderson said when she returned. Registered to T. Patterson. Paid cash for a monthly rate. Patterson. Her maiden name. We took the exterior stairs to the second floor. Room 247 was in the middle of the building. Officer Anderson knocked firmly. Police, we're conducting a welfare check. There was scrambling inside, muffled voices. The door opened 6 inches held by the chain. A man's face appeared, Hispanic, maybe mid-30s, wearing only boxers. Yes? We're looking for Patricia Brooks. Is she here? I don't know any, Marcus, who is it? Trish's voice called from inside. Ma'am, are you Patricia Brooks? Officer Anderson asked loudly. More scrambling. The chain came off and the door opened wider. Trish stood behind the man, wearing a hotel bathrobe, her hair messed, her face pale. I'm Patricia Brooks. Ma'am, your husband reported you missing. He said you were supposed to be working at the hospital. Her eyes found mine over the officer's shoulder. I still held the coffee carrier in one hand, the care package in the other. The banner was in my car, but the image was clear enough. A husband trying to surprise his wife at work, finding her at a hotel with another man instead. I can explain, she started, but her voice died as she saw my face. The kids made you cards, I said quietly. Ryan drew you as a superhero. She started crying then, not pretty tears, but ugly, gasping sobs. The man, Marcus, retreated into the room, grabbing his clothes. Ma'am, are you here of your own free will? Officer Williams asked. Yes, she whispered. Then this is a domestic matter. Sir, Anderson turned to me. Your wife is safe. We'll document this and file our report. You'll need to work this out between yourselves. Thank you, officers. I'm sorry to waste your time. No waste, Mr. Brooks. We're glad she's safe. They left us standing in the hallway, me with my pathetic care package, Trish in a bathrobe outside a cheap hotel room where she'd been with another man. Daniel, please let me... The kids are waiting at the hospital, I said, turning away. They think you're missing. You should probably figure out what you're going to tell them. I walked back to my car, placed the coffee and sandwiches in the trash bin by the stairs, and drove back to Sacramento. Behind me, I knew Trish would be scrambling to dress, to figure out a story, to somehow explain the unexplainable. The kids were asleep in the security office when I arrived, Dolores having brought them blankets from somewhere. I gently woke them. Did you find Mom? Megan asked groggily. She's okay. She's coming home. There was a misunderstanding. What kind of misunderstanding? Let's go home. She'll explain when she gets there. We drove home in silence. I tucked them into bed, telling them everything was fine. Mom would be home soon. Then I sat in the dark living room, waiting. She came in at 2:47 a.m., still in the clothes she'd hastily thrown on, not her scrubs. She looked smaller somehow, deflated. Are they asleep? Yes. Daniel, 14 months, I said. I checked. You've been doing this for 14 months, every third Saturday. She sank into the chair across from me. How did you know? Your pay stubs, no overtime, no night differential. Then I had Tony check the badge records. 30 minutes, Trish. You spend 30 minutes at the hospital, then drive to that hotel. You had me followed? I had to know. The kids think you're a hero. Ryan drew you with a cape. Megan wrote about how proud she is that her mom saves lives. She was crying again. I never meant... Who is he? Marcus Torres. He's a respiratory therapist at Mercy General. Married, yes, kids, 2. So you're both destroying families. It's not like that. We fell in love. At which continuing education conference? That's where you meet, right? Healthcare workers from different hospitals? Her silence was confirmation enough. 14 months of lying. Not just to me, but to our children. Using your profession, using the respect people have for nurses as cover for an affair. I'm ending it. No, you're not. You're going to have to explain to our children why you weren't at work. You're going to have to face them knowing they know their mother is a liar. And then we're getting divorced. Daniel, please, we can work through this. Counseling. There's a police report, Trish. Official record. You were reported missing from your workplace and found at a hotel with another man. It's documented. Time-stamped. Witnessed. The reality of it hit her then. This wasn't something that could be explained away or forgotten. There was a paper trail. What about the kids? What about them? You've been lying to them for over a year. Every month they've been proud of their mom working extra to help people. Every month you've kissed them goodbye and driven to a hotel to be with another man. I love my children. Then you should have thought of them before you did this. I stood up. I'm sleeping in the guest room. Tomorrow, you're going to tell the kids the truth. All of it. And then we're going to figure out how to divorce with the least damage to them. Daniel, there's nothing left to say, Trish. The next morning was brutal. The kids came downstairs to find their mother at the kitchen table, still in yesterday's clothes, eyes red and puffy. I made breakfast, pancakes, their favorite, while she sat there gathering courage. Mom, what happened last night? Megan asked. Dad said there was a misunderstanding? Trish looked at me, hoping I'd save her, give her an out. I stayed silent, flipping pancakes. I need to tell you both something, she began. I haven't been honest with you. About what? Ryan's voice was small. About my night shifts. I haven't been working night shifts. The confusion on their faces was heartbreaking. But you leave in your scrubs, Megan said. You have your badge. I know, I've been going somewhere else. Where? Trish looked at her hands. To meet someone. The silence stretched until Megan broke it, her voice sharp with sudden understanding. You've been having an affair. Ryan looked between his sister and mother, not quite grasping it. What's an affair? It means Mom has a boyfriend even though she's married to Dad, Megan said flatly. That's not true, Ryan turned to his mother. Mom, tell her that's not true. Trish's tears were her only answer. Ryan ran from the room. We heard his door slam upstairs. Megan stayed, her 15-year-old face hard with betrayal. How long? 14 months, I answered, when Trish couldn't. All those Saturday nights. Every time you said you were saving lives. Every time we were proud of you. Megan stood up. I told everyone at school my mom was a hero. I wrote essays about you. Megan, please. No. Megan's voice was ice. You don't get to please me. You lied. For over a year. To all of us. She left too, and then it was just Trish and me and a plate of uneaten pancakes. I've destroyed everything, she whispered. Yes, I said. You have. The next weeks were a blur of lawyers and papers and terrible conversations. I filed for divorce immediately, attaching the police report, the badge records from Tony, bank statements showing cash withdrawals that corresponded to the hotel dates. My lawyer said it was one of the most documented cases of adultery she'd ever seen. The hospital found out, of course. Small world. Smaller when there's a police report involving 2 hospitals and a welfare check. Trish wasn't fired. Abandoning your family isn't a termination offense. But she received a written warning for misuse of hospital property and was required to attend ethics training. The real punishment was social. The story spread through the hospital like wildfire. The night shift nurses were particularly offended. "We actually work these brutal shifts," one of them told Trish in the break room, loud enough for everyone to hear. "We actually sacrifice time with our families to help patients. And you used our sacrifice as your cover story." They started calling her Night Shift Nancy behind her back, sometimes not even that quietly. The ICU became unbearable for her. She requested a transfer to day surgery, but the staff there had heard the story too. No unit wanted her. Marcus Torres faced worse. His wife, Elena, found the police report through a simple public records search after someone anonymously suggested she might want to look into her husband's night shifts. She was a paralegal, knew exactly how to find and document everything. Their divorce was even uglier than ours. She took him for everything: the house, full custody of their kids, maximum child support and alimony. His hospital fired him for ethics violations. Turns out Mercy General had stricter policies about conduct that brought disrepute to the institution. He lost his respiratory therapy license for 6 months, couldn't work in his field. Last I heard, he was working at a medical supply store, living in a studio apartment, still paying Elena more than half his income. The custody battle was swift and decisive. The kids testified in judges' chambers. I didn't hear what they said, but Megan came out with tears streaming down her face, and Ryan wouldn't look at his mother. The judge awarded me full custody with supervised visitation for Trish, eventually moving to alternate weekends. "Your deception went beyond simple adultery," the judge said. "You used your profession and your children's pride in your work to facilitate your affair. This shows a level of calculated dishonesty that raises concerns about your judgment as a custodial parent." The financial settlement was just as harsh. The judge ordered Trish to reimburse me for half the money she'd spent on the hotel, $2,800 over 14 months. She had to pay child support despite having them only 4 days a month. No alimony for her, despite being the lower earner. The house went to me and the kids to provide stability. She moved to a one-bedroom apartment across town, close enough to see the kids but far enough that we didn't run into each other at the grocery store. The kids struggled. Ryan started having nightmares, waking up crying that Mom was missing again. We got him into therapy. Megan became angry, bitter. She quit the volunteer program at the hospital she'd been so excited about. "I don't want anything to do with hospitals," she said. Their classmates found out because classmates always do. Someone's parent worked at the hospital or knew someone who did. The story was too salacious not to spread. "Did you hear about the Brooks kids? Their mom pretended to work night shifts for over a year to have an affair. We ended up switching schools mid-year." "Fresh start," I told them, though we all knew it was running away. The extended stay hotel became an odd footnote to the whole saga. Room 247 had to be taken out of rotation. Guests complained about a bad feeling in the room, though that was probably just the power of suggestion after the story made the rounds among the staff. The manager told me this when I ran into him at a coffee shop months later. "We actually use it for storage now," he said, then looked embarrassed that he'd brought it up. Marcus tried to contact Trish after their divorces were final. She told me about it during one of our terse exchanges about the kids' schedules. "He wants to be together now that we're both free," she said with a bitter laugh. "Free. He lives in a studio and works retail. I'm a pariah at work. We destroyed 4 lives, 6 if you count his kids for what? 14 nights in a bad hotel? I don't care, Trish. I know, I need someone to know how stupid it all was. How it wasn't even worth it. It never is. I loved you, she said quietly. I know you don't believe that, but I did. I do. You loved me so much you spent 14 months lying to my face. To our children's faces. I got lost. I don't even know how it started, not really. One conversation at a conference, then texting, then I kept telling myself I'd end it. Every month I'd say this is the last time. But it never was. Number. It never was. 6 months after the divorce was finalized, I started dating Linda, whose daughter Emma was on Megan's new volleyball team. Linda was a night shift nurse, a real one, at UC Davis Medical Center. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. I actually verify everything now, I told her on our third date, making it sound like a joke, though we both knew it wasn't. I'll give you my supervisor's number, she said. Call anytime. She meant it too. Understood the damage, the trust issues. She'd been cheated on by her ex-husband, though nothing as elaborate as Trish's deception. He just stayed late at the office with his secretary, she said. Classic. Boring, really, compared to your story. The kids liked Linda. She didn't try to mother them, didn't push. She was just there, steady and reliable and honest. When she worked nights, she really worked nights. Sometimes she'd FaceTime us from her break room, bags under her eyes, looking exhausted. This is what actual night shift looks like, Megan said once, and we all knew what she meant. The police report haunted Trish professionally. Every background check for every job showed it. Welfare check. Subject located at hotel, not at stated workplace. It didn't say affair, didn't need to. The implications were clear enough. She eventually left Sacramento General for a small clinic in Fresno, 2 hours away. The pay was less, the work was mundane, but they either didn't care about the report or didn't dig deep enough to find it. She drove up every other weekend to see the kids, staying at a Holiday Inn by the highway. It's funny, Megan said after one visit. She actually stays at a hotel now when she says she's at a hotel. That's not funny, Ryan said, but he was sort of smiling. They were healing. Slowly. A year after everything exploded, I got a call from Tony, my security friend from the gym. You're not going to believe this, he said. Remember Marcus Torres? Unfortunately. He applied for a job in our hospital's respiratory department. They ran a background check, found the ethics violation, found the police report. He listed the extended stay hotel as an address during the employment verification. Jesus. Yeah. HR actually asked me about it since I knew about the situation. I told him everything. He didn't get the job. Good. How are you doing, really? Better. Kids are adjusting. We're moving forward. And Trish? Existing, I guess. I don't know. I don't really care anymore. That was mostly true. The rage had faded to indifference. The opposite of love isn't hate. It's nothing. The kids graduated from their new schools. Megan went to college, pre-law instead of pre-med. I want to help people who've been lied to, she wrote in her application essay. I've seen how documentation and truth can protect innocent people from those who would deceive them. Ryan became a chess champion, finding comfort in a game where all the pieces' moves were visible, where nothing was hidden. I like that you can see everything, he told his therapist. No surprises, no secrets. The extended stay hotel eventually renovated, gutting the second floor and renumbering all the rooms. There was no more room 247. But the story persisted in local healthcare circles. a cautionary tale told in break rooms and at conferences. Did you hear about that nurse who used fake night shifts to cover her affair for over a year? Can you imagine? People couldn't imagine. But it had happened. 14 months of Saturdays, each one a deliberate choice to deceive. Each one a kiss goodbye to children who believed their mother was a hero. I kept one thing from that night, Ryan's drawing of his superhero mom. Not out of sentiment, but as a reminder. A reminder that trust is fragile, that heroes can be illusions, that the people we love are capable of devastating betrayal. But also a reminder that we survived it. That truth, however painful, is better than the prettiest lie. That when someone shows you who they really are, you should believe them. The last time I saw Trish was at Ryan's high school graduation. She sat 3 rows behind us alone. When our eyes met, she smiled sadly and nodded. I nodded back. There was nothing left to say. The night shifts were over, and we were all finally awake. She still works at that clinic in Fresno. Still drives up every other weekend, though now the kids sometimes go to her. They're rebuilding something. Not what was, but something new. Something honest. Do you forgive her? Linda asked me once. I forgive her for me, for the kids. But I don't forget. I can't forget. That's fair. Is it? It's real. That's better than fair. The police report is still there in the public records. Case number 2024-3847. Anyone can look it up. Sometimes I do, late at night, just to remind myself it really happened. That for 14 months, my wife kissed our children goodbye, put on scrubs, and drove to a hotel to be with another man while they thought she was saving lives. The search brings up the same sparse details every time. Welfare check requested by husband. Subject located at Extended Stay Hotel Roseville. Not at stated workplace. No crime committed. Case closed. Such a simple summary of the destruction of a family. But we weren't destroyed, not really. We were broken, rearranged, reformed into something different. The kids still see their mother. I found love again with someone who actually works the shifts she claims. Life moved forward, scarred but functioning. The night shifts were over. The real work of healing had begun. Sometimes I drive by Sacramento General at night, see the lit windows of the ICU where real nurses work real night shifts, saving real lives. I think about the coffee carrier I threw away, the banner that said, "Hero Wife," the cards the kids made with such love and pride. Then I drive home to my family, smaller now, but honest. Linda might be there, exhausted from an actual night shift, telling us about the patient who coded 3 times but made it. The kids half listen, doing homework or texting friends, comfortable with the truth of it. Dad, Ryan asked me recently, do you think people can change? Like, really change? I think people can choose to be better, I said, but they have to choose it every day. And the people they hurt get to choose whether to let them back in. Is that what we're doing with Mom? Choosing every day? Yeah, buddy, that's exactly what we're doing. He nodded, satisfied with that answer. We were all choosing every day to move forward with truth instead of backward with lies. The 3rd Saturday of each month still comes around. I notice it on the calendar, a ghost of a memory. But it has no power anymore. It's just another Saturday. The kids might visit their mom, or stay home, or go out with friends. Normal things. Honest things. Trish texted me last week. I know you'll never believe me, but I'm sorry. Every day I'm sorry. I didn't respond. There was nothing to say that hadn't been said. She'd made her choices for 14 months of 3rd Saturdays. Now she had to live with them, just like we all did. The story made it into nursing forums online, anonymized but recognizable to anyone who knew us. RN used fake night shifts for affair, caught by surprise visit from family. Hundreds of comments, mostly from angry night shift nurses who felt personally insulted by the deception. We sacrifice everything to work these shifts, one wrote. Using our dedication as a cover for cheating is despicable. Another. This is why people don't trust healthcare workers. One bad apple spoils our reputation. And those poor kids. Imagine thinking your mom is a hero and finding out she's just a liar. Those poor kids, my kids, who were actually doing okay, all things considered. Megan made Dean's List her first semester. Ryan won a state chess championship. They were more than those poor kids. They were survivors. We should write a book, Megan joked once. The Night Shift, a true story of deception. Nobody would believe it, Ryan said. It's too crazy. Truth is stranger than fiction, I said. Is that why you and Linda work so hard at being boring? Megan teased. Boring is underrated, I said, and meant it. Boring was beautiful. Boring was Linda coming home exactly when she said she would. Boring was no GPS trackers, no mysterious charges, no lies about where she'd been. Boring was trust. The extended stay hotel was demolished last month. Development plans for condos, according to the news. When I drove by and saw the rubble, I felt nothing. It was just a building where a bad thing happened. The bad thing would have happened somewhere else if that building hadn't existed. Marcus Torres moved to Arizona, according to LinkedIn. Still working retail, still single. His ex-wife Elena remarried, a doctor, ironically. Their kids call the new husband Dad, from what I heard. Trish will never remarry. Not because she can't find someone, but because the police report follows her everywhere. Any potential partner who Googles her name finds it. Patricia Brooks Welfare Check Extended Stay Hotel. The internet never forgets. She tried online dating briefly, told me about it during a kid exchange, trying to make conversation. They all ghost me after the first date, she said. I guess they look me up. I didn't know what to say to that. Part of me thought it was justice. Part of me just felt tired. Maybe try being honest up front, I suggested. Hi, I'm Trish. I destroyed my family with an elaborate 14-month affair where I pretended to work night shifts. Great opening line. Better than letting them find out themselves. She laughed bitterly. You're right. You're always right. I wasn't right about you. That shut down the conversation. We went back to discussing pickup times and school events. Last week was the third Saturday. I didn't even realize until Sunday. The date had finally lost its power, become just another square in the calendar. That felt like victory, small but real. Linda worked that Friday night, a real shift. She came home Saturday morning exhausted, showered, actually washing off the hospital, and collapsed into bed. I brought her coffee around noon, and she told me about her night. 2 cardiac arrests, one successful, one not. The one who didn't make it, his wife was there, held his hand at the end, told him she forgave him for everything, all of it, whatever it was. That's beautiful. Is it? I wondered what everything was, what needed forgiving. Maybe nothing big, maybe just life. Maybe. We sat in comfortable silence, 2 people who'd been broken by betrayal, finding something real in the wreckage. The kids came home from their mother's Sunday evening. They seemed fine, normal. Ryan was excited about a chess tournament. Megan needed help with a paper on legal ethics, the irony not lost on anyone. Mom seems better, Ryan mentioned at dinner. Good, I said, and meant it. She said she's thinking about moving back to Sacramento. My stomach clenched, but I kept my voice level. That's her choice. Would it be weird? Everything about this has been weird, buddy. He laughed. True. But we're handling it. Yeah, Megan said. We're handling it. And we were. Day by day, truth by truth, we were handling it. The night shift was over. The day shift, the real work of living and healing and moving forward, that continued. Every morning I wake up next to someone I trust. Every evening my kids come home to truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Every day we choose to be better than we were. That's all any of us can do. The coffee maker sputters to life at 6:47 a.m., same as always. But now it's Linda setting it up on the mornings she gets home from actual night shifts, or me on regular mornings, or the kids on weekends. Life, real life, happening in all its boring, beautiful honesty. Sometimes I think about those 14 months, about all the small lies that built the big deception, the scrubs kept in her car, the stories about difficult patients, the exhaustion she performed every Sunday morning, the overtime that never appeared on pay stubs. I think about the 30 minutes she spent at the hospital each time, just long enough to be seen, to badge in and out, to maintain the fiction. Those 30 minutes of pretense before driving to her real destination. I think about Marcus Torres, telling his own lies to his own family, meeting her at that bland hotel, both of them playing at being something other than cheaters. But mostly, I don't think about it at all. Mostly I think about Ryan's tournament, Megan's grades, Linda's genuine exhaustion after real shifts, dinner plans, weekend activities, the substance of an authentic life. The night shift was a lie, but the dawn that followed was real. We survived the darkness. We found our way to morning. And every third Saturday, when that date rolls around on the calendar, it's just another day. No lies, no hotel rooms, no police reports. Just another day in a life rebuilt on truth. That's the real victory. Not the dramatic revelation, not the public humiliation, not even the justice of consequences faced. The real victory is in the ordinary days that followed, each one honest, each one ours. The night shift is over. The day shift continues. And we're all finally, truthfully, home.